Good afternoon, folks. We are up and running once again. Let me get everything switched over and we will pick up where we left off in Dyson Sphere Program. All right, let me turn on BGM. There we go. All right, we should have video and audio. Hey, Red Dragon's here. What's up, Red Dragon? How you doing today? Hope you're having a decent Thursday. It's been a busy week, but I'm glad it's almost over. It's been a hot minute. I was gone for a portion of last week. Seems like I haven't streamed in a while. Oh, that's right. It is tomorrow in your time zone. Well, that's good. All right. I have done a bit of work on the save file here for DSP since the last time we played. I've done some work on the satellite base, which I might have to go back and check on. I think it is more or less done. But I also, in fact, I gotta pause because I'm in hostile territory at the moment. I've been building out the production at the main base, and then I realized we're bottlenecked on a certain resource, so even though it's gonna take a little bit longer for us to make forward progress, I'm taking a sidebar here to clear out another galaxy, in which, if you folks haven't seen the large-scale space combat, we're gonna do a bit of that in this other system and start setting up another base here. Our dragon says, I'm from the future, fear me. Hopefully you have good news from the future. If you have any good winning lotto numbers, let me know. I'd love to retire. If we take a look at the star map, we are out here in a completely different system that we have not seen so far in the playthrough. We are not super far away from home system, a bit further than the other satellite base over here. Here's home system. We're out here in rare minerals. Specifically, the resource I want is over here, grading crystal. We need this to create the kimberlite. Casimir. Kimberlite's an ore. We need it for the Casimir crystals, which are sort of bottlenecked at the moment. Red Dragon says, nope, the human race is effed. Lol. Well, I'm not surprised. But fortunately, we have video games for now. Looking at the recipe for Casimir, this one down here, we can use grading crystals plus graphene plus hydrogen to produce these without having to create titanium crystals, which are kind of expensive. So to that end, we have touched down on this planet, but it is heavily occupied by the dark fog. I touched down here and cleared out some space, but there's still 1, 2, 3 enemy bases which are being actively expanded upon, and then further out we can see the hive here. Pretty decent sized hive cluster we're going to have to completely eradicate before we can settle here without any threat. So what we're going to do is go combat mode. We're going to use our ground drones.
Dark fog base force destroyed.
And we're going to just clean out all of these bases, get them off the planet, and then we're going to go space side and take the fight to them directly in space at the hive. Hopefully we don't run out of drones. If I run out of drones, I'm going to have to go back home and resupply. Fortunately, our weaponry is decently powerful, but each time we clear out one of these nodes and drop a thermal station to capitalize on this rift that they create on the planet, it ups our overall power output, which draws aggro from the rest of the bases faster, so we can't dawdle around here. We've got to clear them out quick.
Dark Fog base core destroyed.
Alright. That's another one. Should be one left. I'm dropping these battlefield analysis bases out here to vacuum up all the materials these things are dropping. Probably won't need them, but just in case, we'll give them a place to dump. This actual planet's kind of cool. It's a mix of rocky terrain and ice. That's what this is here. Which means there's no plant life, really. It's kind of a barren world, but it's got valuable ore on it, which is why we're here.
Flight mode. Cruise mode.
There we go. Where are we going?
Cruise ended.
Last one? Yeah. Well, it's kind of a change playing a game on this monitor I'm using right now. You folks that were in the Discord saw me mention before that my drawing tablet died. That was earlier this week, kind of out of the blue, with no warning. Which is annoying, because I can't draw anymore until I get a new one. But that was my main monitor for a bit. Or for... In fact, as long as I've had that thing, it's been my main monitor. Which has been pretty functional as a display. It was very old. The Cintiq that I was using I got in 2013. So over 11 years of the drawing tablet is pretty good lifespan. I got my money's worth, even though it was expensive. But as monitor fidelity and graphic technology got better, I still had that same monitor as my main. And so while I have, this is a 24-inch, that was my third monitor on my right that I used, is much newer and much sharper resolution and color. And what I did in the meantime, until I get a new tablet, is I slid this one over, so now my old right monitor is now my main, and my vertical monitor is unchanged, and I got a fairly cheap, smaller monitor just to use in the meantime that I'm going to eventually use for work once I get a tablet. Red Dragon asks, what size of it? You're talking about my tablet? It was a 22. 21.5 technically. 22-inch Cintiq. And so, playing a game, this is actually the first time, aside from testing DSP yesterday, that I played a game on this much more new monitor and a larger size, and it looks really nice. I did order a new tablet, but it won't be here for a bit. So I don't know if we'll be able to do drawing streams next week. There was a sale on Amazon for same size, but a different brand at a fraction of the price. So I did some research, and people said it's a pretty good product. And so I pulled the trigger on that, but it'll be a little bit. All right, let me go find... There we go. This is where we're going to be launching from. Red Dragon has using a different mech. No, this is the same mech we've had. I think the first playthrough we did before the PvE update, we actually customized our mech and made it a different color. And then when we started this new file, I just didn't bother doing that. I actually... Oh, there it is. There we go. We could do it right now. I think we had... Honestly, I don't remember what color we made it. I think it was red? We could go, like, red and black. The gold, like, base yellow palette is what it normally looks like. And there's a whole bunch of things you can customize. But I haven't done it in a while. Let's change the highlights real quick. Oh, black and light blue accents. You could change the shape of the different body parts here. I just don't remember where they are. But we'll keep the color. There we go. It's a pretty neat color scheme. Red Dragon, you're asking about a link. Are you talking about a link to the product I was describing earlier? I can dig it up if you want to see which one I was talking about. It'll be a good road test for a drawing tablet that's not a Wacom, which is what I had before. I can grab it now, otherwise I'm going to forget if I don't do it right at this moment. I'll DM it to you on Discord. Hey, Iconic's here. What's up, Iconic? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Give me 1 second. Dig this up for Red Dragon. Hope your week and Thursday are going well, Iconic. But yeah, the model I sent Red Dragon and over on Discord is for a company called XP Pen, which I'd heard of, but I'm not familiar with their product lines. The one I was eyeing was the same one Wazi uses, which was Galmon, which would have been a bit cheaper than that one, but I liked the setup on the XP Pen 22 or whatever that is. I liked it a little bit better, and it was on sale. But compared to the original model Cintiq that I had, which doesn't retail for a lower price now, but they have newer models. When I bought it in 2013, it was like $2,400. The XP Pen one I got was less than $500, which is not cheap, but considerably less expensive than a couple grand. So I figure if I can get several years out of that, then it'll be well worth it. Okay, hold on. We need to get our launch point, then we're actually got to go to space. Launch point doesn't really matter. Alright. Let's save our progress, and we're going to go fight the Dark Fog at their hive cluster, and hopefully this goes decently. I know for drawing tablets, for those of you that are artists and working on digital art tools, Wacom, who makes the Cintiqs, are kind of like the industry standard for drawing tablets. To be fair, they make good products. The Cintiq I had, again, it lasted for 11 years before it randomly died with no issue. That's a long time for any piece of hardware, especially one that's getting constant use. But I don't think they're the industry standard across the board now. Like, I think there's a good middle ground. So after I get a chance to use the XP Pen one, I might do a video or at least talk about it on one of the streams after I get a chance to mess with it for a bit and do kind of a comparison. Because not only was my tablet a different brand, it was very old. And so drawing tablet tech has probably evolved quite a bit since 2013. I have to bounce it off of some of my artist peers. But let's see. Let's close in a little bit faster here. I just don't think it's entirely necessary for people in the digital art field to have to spend over a couple grand on a tablet. If you're a professional, then it's probably a worthwhile investment for an industry standard. But if you just need a good tool that's going to let you draw, I don't think you have to spring for that. Back in the day, you had little choice for like a tablet display. All right. Let's slow our trajectory. We don't want to go balls to the wall right in their face. We want to kind of do like a drive-by. I think we've already... Are they aggroed or they just see me? We don't want to go right head-to-head with the hive cluster. We're going to get blown right out of the sky. But we do want to switch out our ships. We're going for corvettes, our only star space combat type of unit. All right, now they see us. Okay, let's see how they do. We want to stay outside of range of the turrets. I'm actually probably closer than I want to be. Conic says this is like an episode of Gundam. A little bit. We're not really doing a whole lot. We can get close and launch rockets, but really our drones are out there doing the majority of the legwork. We need to get further up the tech tree so we can get the destroyers, the big heavy class ones. We've got corvettes, which are kind of like our fast skirmishers, and they seem to be doing a decent job. The enemy ships are the ones with the green bars, and we can see on the right, upper right, our fleet levels. If they get too close, the turrets are taking them out. But I think numbers-wise, we're doing okay. But we're going to have to peel off and retreat if our energy gets too low. Those would be sitting ducks. Oh, I see you sent that, Red Dragon. So you use a Huion? How do you like that product? That's another competing brand out there with the other ones. I've heard Huion are pretty good. They seem to be pretty on par with Galmon and XP Pen. And that's a 11.6, a 12-inch tablet. Is that an external tablet or is it one that you draw on? I can't tell from the listing. It looks like one that you draw directly on. Is that right? Okay. Oh boy, there's even more. Okay. I think we need to peel off a little bit. I think one of the other squadrons on the other side is what we aggroed now. Oh, let me get my bearings. We're here. Oh. Whoops, kind of circled around. Okay, we need to keep our bearings so we can go back to the outpost and refill. Like, we're going to do that. We're under 50%. Red Dragon says, honest words, I hate it. Oh, yeah. What don't you like about the product? Also, welcome, Lava King. Good to see ya. Back from judo, I assume. Where is it? There. All right. Let's disengage. And return to the outpost, refill, and we're going to make another pass.
A landing relay station detected.
Seed detected. Uh-oh. Oh, they're deploying another relay station. Is that what that is? Yeah, I think they're trying to resettle on the planet I kicked them off of. Okay. That's fine, because that's where I'm headed. We should be able to take it out. In fact,
Warp engine
can warp.
activated. Warp engine deactivated.
Where'd it go? Oh, they already settled. Alright. Oh, they dropped 2. You suckers. Alright. Since I'm here... we're going to have our ships take out the relay stations, and then we'll take the bases out on planet. Oh, they dropped one right next to my pylons, too. Very rude. Yeah.
Dark fog base core destroyed.
Okay. Well, that gives us another spot for power. What we'll do is we'll refuel here and then go take out the other base they dropped. Alright, make sure we get hydrate. On the topic of the Huion, Red Dragon says the drawing placement is too off for the pen and the screen is too smooth. Are you talking about the actual cursor to physical pen pressure distance? Is that what you mean by the placement? Okay. Have you tried recalibrating the tablet? Because I know for my old one, every once in a while, it would get kind of screwy with the cursor and the placement. So I'd have to recalibrate it so it was accurate to where I was hitting with my pen, with the stylus. If that still hasn't fixed the problem, then it might be... it could be lag too. I know some people who are using a computer that's a little bit less horsepower have had issues with some of the graphic tablets lagging when either clicking buttons or applying pen strokes. Thankfully, I haven't had that problem, but I know some people have reported issues with that. Alright, where did they drop the other one? I know I saw 2. Unless the relay station hadn't put it down. Pretty sure. Oh, you can look at the radar.
Cruise mode.
Hostiles show up with a red dot on our planetary map. Oh. I don't see them. Okay, so it's probably not lagged.
Cruise ended. Flight mode.
I know the one thing that can affect how the placement feels and sometimes the input is if the screen is bonded, which means if there's a distance between the surface you're putting your pen on and the actual screen underneath. It depends on the model. I don't know what my previous tablet was set up like. I'll have to compare the new one, but I never had an issue with that either. Is the Huion one not bonded? If it's not bonded, it means there's more distance between the surface and the actual screen, like a layer of material, glass, or whatever it is. If it is bonded, it's less distance. And I don't think the XP pen one is bonded. I'll let you know when I check. Hey, Snake's here. What's up, Snake? Snake's hitting us with all the hydrates. You make me chug my smoothie, Snake? Alright, I can't find the other base. We'll just have to see if it pops up. Maybe we got it before they could set down roots. So what we're going to do is we're going to refuel, recharge, and we're going to go back into space and continue. How much of the hive did we take out? Oh, we got the majority of the ships. That's good. All these little ones are the ships. These are patrol ships. I think these might be defensive ones. And then there's turrets here. We might be able to take them out in the next round. Oh, there's a seed. Where's this one going? Okay. Oh, it's going to home system. Okay. All right. When we take out this space cluster, we could intercept it now. I have to go back and get solar paneling too. And I see Red Dragon has also redeemed a bunch of hydrates. Everyone's gonna have to go to the bathroom and fry chicken later. All right. I don't want that thing to show up in my home system. Let's see how far it is. We're over here. So it's coming from somewhere out here, and its destination is here. So we're actually in the middle. We could intercept it from here. That'll probably save us some trouble later since we're already geared for combat. Alright, let's go take care of that. We'll set it as a destination.
Cruise mode.
I know you couldn't do that in the previous builds. You couldn't really interact with the seeds at all. Now you can target them like a regular entity. That's good. On the topic of digital drawing and pen tech, Red Dragon says, just looking at the way I hold my pen might not help. I see. If your grip is weird, that could also affect it too. Hard for me to tell without seeing exactly what you mean, but that could be a factor. Another issue that I had with my previous tablet that was, again, my main monitor that all my games and stuff ran on, because it was starting to get older, the colors were kind of faded on it. And so colors, whenever I was drawing, would be slightly off compared to my other monitors. And now everything is very vibrant, so it's actually kind of different for my eyes. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit closer.
Warp engine activated.
Uh-oh.
Warp engine deactivated.
That's not good. Won't be able to attack if we completely run out of energy. Snake says, right now I'm just messing around in JoJo Battle R. Oh, yeah? Well, you've been playing that for a bit, right? I want to pick that up at some point. You'll have to let me know if you think it's worth it, Snake. The original version of that game I thought was interesting. I just didn't have a means to play it. I do love me some JoJo. I am way behind on JoJo. I need to fix that at some point as well. But haven't had a lot of time to watch stuff. All right, 1.2. Let's see if we can get a little closer. There you are. Okay, we are moving kind of perpendicular to it. It's going that way. I wonder if I can actually attack it from here. Doesn't look like it. I'm decently close. My squadron isn't attacking. Might have to get closer. So we're going to speed up. We're going to try and catch this thing. I can't wait to get to the next couple tiers of upgrades and upgrade my energy. Our energy capacity is making space combat a little bit annoying because we run out so fast. And now it's outspeeding me. It's annoying. This rate is going to hit our system before we can even catch up. And I can't really... Let's see if I can increase my cruise speed. Yeah, it's flying faster than we are. It's annoying. Snake said, I haven't been playing it that much when it first came out in Game Pass. I played a little bit and recently started to play again because my Xbox is glitched so I can download games from Game Pass without having Game Pass to play them. Oh, nice. I'll save some money. Okay, we might have to wait till we have a little bit more energy to boost and then try and catch this thing. Lava King says, I wish I could unhinge my jaw like a snake. It would definitely make eating more efficient, I suppose. I feel like that statement requires some context. All right, let's see if we can get a little more speed. Right now we're basically tailing this thing. And I think if we can get at max cruise speed, which is like 1500 meters per second, then we will definitely be faster. But I didn't want to have to just chase it down. I wanted to intercept it and just destroy the thing right off the bat. So now it's going to take a lot longer. Okay, yeah, now we're much faster. This is not what I intended to do. Oh well. Looks like our max is 17? Our that's my sticky keys notice. I'm hitting shift for the boost. Now, looks like it's about 19 or 2,000 meters per second. $2,000. Okay. I guess we'll stay the course now since we're getting pretty close, and hopefully I have enough energy to deploy our drones and try and kill this thing. On the topic of unhinging jaws, Lava King says, no, I mean like a snake so I can fit more food in my mouth. So you can eat faster? Or just more? Or both? It could easily be both. we are coming right up on this thing now. There they go. Take it out. Nice. Okay, that will prevent the dark fog from redeploying out in our home system. And since we're already heading in that direction, we'll go back and pick up some solar panels. We're going to need some energy stuff to set up once we clear that system out. We'll just get it all now. And then go back and we'll start trying to destroy the rest of the hive. 8.9 light years, though. I don't think I can make it in one shot. I'm going to try and get back to 50%. Love King says, every time I see Scoob eat those giant sandwiches, I feel envious, like they are mocking me. I see. Well, I don't know how to help you with that. I suppose you might be able to do some jaw exercises, but you just have to be careful. I have TMJ on the left side of my jaw, so it actually pops every time I open my mouth. It doesn't hurt, but it is kind of annoying. If I chew something too much, it gets extremely sore. And that I've had that for over a decade. Would not recommend. Oh yeah, we're gonna need like 50%. Can't get that engine upgrade fast enough. Hopkins says, I need my body to be able to defy the laws of nature and physics. You and me both, brother. I would love for my body to not make noises every time I stand up. Or if I sneeze funny, it feels like my back is going to go out. Red Dragon asks, for a drawing tablet, do you plug it into your main GPU or motherboard? So my old tablet that died, graphic wise, it plugged into my graphics card. It was a DVI input, actually. I had to get a DVI to display, or DVI to, what is this thing? I got it right here. DVI to display port for my current GPU. And so the new one is going to be HDMI. I don't think it does display port. It does VGA, but I don't have a VGA to DVI or VGA to HDMI adapter. And then the actual input on my old one plugged into USB. I don't know about the tablet I got. I'm going to assume it's got two hookups, one for graphics and one for input on USB, which means that should be okay. I have an extra USB port now that the old one is gone. All right, let's keep trying to inch our way towards Homeworld. I understand this isn't the sexiest gameplay, but we'll get there.
Warp engine deactivated.
Lava King says, hey Raku, imagine if you had no clip through life. That would only be good if it was at will. If it was not at will or random, that would be awful. But I feel like you'd have to have some restrictions in place, because if you just no clip through everything, you'd fall through the floor. And you would just fall through everything infinitely until you pass through the planet, fly out in space. Red Dragon says, I have 3 display ports and only 1 HDMI on my GPU. Yeah, so you probably need DisplayPort adapters for other things. They have, I think for pretty much everything, they have DisplayPort adapters. If I was able to get DVI to DisplayPort, then you should be able to get like an HDMI to DisplayPort, or even like a VGA to DisplayPort. I'm sure they exist. You just have to probably check on Amazon. Love King asks, would you rather moon jump or no clip? I'd rather moon jump, assuming that I don't suffer the negative impact of landing. Like if you could jump really high, but control your momentum so that you're not cratering into the ground when you land, definitely moon jump. If I could walk out the door and get to the grocery store in like 10 jumps, that'd be way better than getting in my car. Or like I was saying, double jump. Now double jump would be pretty cool. I think that'd be really functional. Okay, so moon jump would be infinite height and soft fall, slow fall. Okay. So how do you control the height of the jump? Is it purely based on how much force you put when pushing off the ground? Because that would take a lot of adjustment. I think the first time you do it, you have the risk of shooting 500 feet in the air. At that point, you're better off just wishing for flight. All right, while we're doing this, I'm glad you folks are coming up with good topics of discussion while we're flying out through the vastness of space. We need to grab... Okay, we're good on interstellar and planetary logistics. We just need to grab power. About mining machines. Okay, we're good there too. Yeah, just power. Alright, let's see if we can get close.
Warp engine activated.
Icon says, Raku flying in space. Is that a JoJo reference? It is now. Although, unlike cars, we have agency over where we're going. We're not just endlessly drifting through space in galactic purgatory forever.
Warp engine
Oh,
deactivated.
we're almost there. We're going... I can see it barely in the distance. There's Homeworld. A Dragon says, I would like to be a Viltrumite. That's Invincible, right? I gotta watch that second season. I heard it's really good. Lava King, anything can be a JoJo reference if you try hard enough. Especially since Snake was just talking about playing JoJo earlier. Alright, we are... That's not super far. Let's try and do it in one shot.
Warp engine activated. Warp engine deactivated.
Almost. That is really pretty, though. Now that I can see things in slightly brighter colors on this monitor. The Dyson swarm around our home star looks really cool. Iconics is hating JoJo's a JoJo reference. That's true. That's some 5D chess you're playing right there. Very careful, you're gonna give Lava King an aneurysm. I honestly don't know if Lava King hates JoJo or just the memes that came from JoJo. We've never really talked about it. It could be both. Alright. Let's get back here. Refill our energy.
Ended. Flight mode.
Restock our supplies, and we're gonna have to fly back to the outpost, which might take more than one shot. And in the meantime, the Dark Fog will have rebuilt a portion of their hive, which sucks, but it's okay. I think ship-wise we've got enough. Maybe I'll grab a couple more stacks of these Corvettes. just in case. It'd be a shame to run out of attacking ships and have to fly all the way back. Okay.
Flight mode.
So we need to grab solar panels. We're going to put a belt around that new planet that we're settling on. It's probably enough. So for reference, the reason why we're doing this side quest to go clear out another system and set up an outpost there, the crystals, which are... Where did I put you? Over here. This spot here is what's creating those, and right now we have the alternate site which does not have a lot of these grading crystals, so it's sending them over here in small amounts, which is why the production line's choked here. So we want to get more so that we can create more of these things, because we need them for the nano circuits. What was it called? Quantum chips. We need it for these things, plane filters. So we're gonna go grab some more of the ships. Save our progress. And now we're gonna jet over to that second outpost and try and finish clearing out the dark fog. It's 5.4 light years, so it's... I think it's closer. Isn't it closer?
Warp engine activated.
What we'll do is we'll fly in. We'll have to refill our energy at the base outpost, and then we're going to go back into space combat. Lava King says, no, it's the flanderization of meme culture or an out-of-context meme. You know, the overall value of a piece of media. Example, getting the robot Shinji is dumb because that's bad, or is that a JoJo reference? Waters down JoJo or media making. A JoJo reference actually makes a well-made reference. So you don't like the dilution of the original point of the meme, it sounds like.
Warp engine deactivated.
There it is. I can see that. I could see that, Lava King. I think that's a fair take. I personally don't get bothered by that, because to me it's all part of the evolution of a meme. You have inception when it's created and the popularization, then you have proliferation of the meme, and then you have oversaturation of the meme, and then you either have the meme enduring and becoming iconic and lasting forever, or dying. So some memes die off because they have no longevity past the initial inception and proliferation, and then everyone gets sick of them and they go away. Others endure the oversaturation and become well received and, again, iconic, and are cherished forever. A good example of that, I think, one of my favorite memes is the concept of the Rickroll, which has existed since before some of you were probably born. People still Rickroll people now, and most people who've been on the internet for a while, if you play Never Gonna Give You Up, will immediately know that it's from an internet thing and not just a popular song from the 80s. I didn't see you mention that in chat, Iconic, but I can see we are on the same wavelength. Now, see, for me personally, I was never annoyed by the Rickroll because I like that song unironically. I think it's a catchy, fun song, and I think Rick Astley seems like a really cool dude who's embraced the idea that a song he made kept him relevant for decades after the popularity of the song itself. Now you want my boomer take on memeology and the meme ecosystem. I feel like the term meme has lost a lot of its definition and meaning in recent years.
Warp engine activated.
I was talking to one of my coworkers who's close to my age. That is to say, old. And we were talking about how nowadays... Oh, hold on a second. Let me deal with this. Nowadays, anything can be called a meme. You know, someone on Facebook creates a picture with a caption or just a funny picture. They consider that a meme. Whether it's related to like a trend or a running joke or not. It's just, oh, hey, I created this funny meme. But to me, that's not what the original definition of a meme is. It's something that's like a reoccurring running joke that becomes a thing that is iterated upon and evolves to where people start changing the original form of the joke. Where are my ships? There they are. And so the idea of what people nowadays think of as a quote-unquote meme is different from back in the day, where you had like all your bass was a meme. It was a song, and then people started like remixing it and then quoting it unironically and ironically. And it evolved to a point where it was not just a funny clip from a video game. And so it's been interesting watching the landscape sort of change. There's nothing we can really do about it, but I liked it when memes were a bit more creative back in the day.
Cruise ended.
All right. Let's clear out these other bases that have popped up since we were here. It took us like 20 minutes to go and fly back home.
Dark Fog Spaceport destroyed.
This is why we have to take out the dark fog in space.
Flight mode.
If left to their own devices, they'll just keep trying to settle on this planet because it's the only one in the system. And we want this planet and its very valuable resources for ourselves because we're greedy.
Cruise mode. Cruise
Alright.
ended.
There we go.
Flight mode.
There's the other one. Right next to my pylons. That's fine. I can just sit here and have my drones take care of all of them.
Dark Fog base core destroyed.
There it goes. I guess we can drop one of these here. I should have grabbed more of those, but that's fine. Iconic says, my humor is broken due to YouTube poop exposure at a young age. It's a blessing and a curse to hear a normal sentence, but in the right hands, someone can make that normal sentence dirty nonsense. Oh, sure. As someone who was there at the creation of the whole YouTube poop movement, I never really contributed anything to it, but so many good, like, brain rotting things came out of that. I was a really big fan of the Zelda CDI YouTube poops. My boy. Oh no, we want to uncover them. It's one resource that we're going to want to start harvesting. But first, we need to go and get rid of the dark fog before they come back and try and reclaim this planet again. There they are. I think what we'll do is we'll
Cruise mode.
warp in, get in close proximity, and try and go for the fleet first, since those are the most dangerous, and then try and take out more of the infrastructure.
Warp engine activated.
Just make sure we don't get too close. That's too close. Ah, I should have saved.
Lost connection to center brain. Mission failed. You can continue from your previous saved game.
This is what happens when you die,
or
by the way.
use metadata to redeploy or reassemble Icarus. To redeploy, center brain will dispatch a new Icarus to the landing point on the initial planet. To reassemble, center brain will reassemble scattered components into an intact
That's really
Icarus
annoying.
and
I should have
retain all
re-enabled my
items in the
fleet. They're
inventory.
turned off because I didn't want them orbiting the planet. Whoops, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh well. I wanted to just go back. Wait, where's all my stuff? Ew. That's not good. This is a respawn. We lost our inventory. What did I last save? Ruh-roh. Okay, I think I saved after we got... Okay, it was before we went back. Alright, that's not too much progress. That is annoying, though.
Flight mode.
To that end, let me make sure when we go back to space that my squadron's turned on. Okay, I'm gonna grab more fuel, too. Should have done that before we left. Let me do that, and then we'll go fly back. We'll save on world this time. I should have done that. Thought for sure nothing could possibly go wrong. I was very wrong, indeed. All right, I see we got a drop a beat from Wait. Save reminder from Red Dragon. Yeah, very funny. Iconic has drop a beat, and Lava King has the fact. Okay. Give me a second to grab my fuel, and then we will go and do that. I started uploading the stream beats stuff. I meant to do it before I left town. I didn't have time. But I will grab clips of the ones that I feel are noteworthy from streams when people redeem drop a beat, and then they'll go into the Twitch clip repository, and they'll go up on YouTube as well. So there'll be a collection of beats, there we go, done on stream. For anyone who cares or wants to see what kind of stuff we do here. Okay, let's reorganize that. We'll save. Pause here so nothing bad happens. Pause BGM. Right, I'll just mute this. The game has really kind of soft ambient noises since I have the music in DSP turned off. So we'll just mute it for now. Grab headphones. And let's see what we can come up with. Seems like it's been a while. All right. Let us turn everything back on. And let me go grab the fact sheet. I think it's time for a Garden Watch update. Garden Watch 2024. I don't need the sheet for that. Iconic says that was rad. Oh, thanks. I've been workshopping some kind of tweaks on drum and bass stuff for a bit. And that was one of the ones I was working on yesterday. I'm trying to perfect this combination of lip bass and vocalized throat bass for the... And trying to get that to layer properly. So that was testing that out, and that beat. Not quite where I want it yet, but I definitely want to work on that some more and get that layering of sounds a little bit more refined, because it creates kind of a cool effect for basses. But you have to be doing like the lip bass plus layering it with the vocalized thing on top of it to get the... Not quite where I want it yet, but I'm working on it. All right, while we're flying back to the outpost. So the fact that was Lava King, right? Yeah, Lava King redeemed fact. Garden Watch 2024 update. It seems like leaving town for a few days is a serious risk to my garden because my plants were not too thrilled when I got back. I think I mentioned in the last Garden Watch update, as we got into finally the warm season where I live up in the hinterlands, I had 2 basil plants, a rosemary plant, and a pot of green onions. The 2 basil plants, I have one inside and one outside, so I'm testing which ones tend to do better. The outside basil plants did not die, but they were in a rough state when I got back. The indoor ones were also not in a great state, but were fine for the most part. My rosemary plant appears to be dead, which I'm not too happy about. It got frozen during the winter season when we got snowfall, and like a moron, I didn't bring it inside, and it has not recovered. It is very brown, it has not sprouted new needles, and I'm pretty sure it's dead. My green onions that I planted right before I left are fine. They're doing okay. I'm looking at getting a tomato plant soon, since tomatoes did pretty well in the warm season last year, but I haven't got it yet. Red Trang says you abandoned your plants, you monster. To be fair, I put glass water globes on the basil, so they didn't completely dry out, but it was not quite enough. I think the low temperatures are still cold for the outdoor basil, because the outdoor plant is not doing as well. The indoor one's doing okay, but I had to kind of trim it around a bit when I got back. I was not terribly thrilled. So looking like keeping basil indoors at least until summer is probably going to be the way to go. But we'll see. I haven't actually harvested yet my basil yet. There's a decent amount on the indoors one. In fact, I'm probably going to do caprese for dinner. I want to do pasta marinara with lamb meatballs and caprese for dinner tonight. So I'll be able to harvest some. I just don't want to make the mistake of the first time I started growing basil. I want to turn my headphones off. Where I harvested too much and killed the plant because there were no leaves left. Or not enough leaves left. So I don't want to do that. It is a constant learning experience, learning how to grow plants. Be nice if I can get an oregano or thyme plant. That's another herb I use a lot in cooking. But I'm still bummed that I lost my rosemary plant, because rosemary is a great herb to cook with. Man, these suckers are back again. Can't even leave for 5 minutes without them trying to reseed the planet and build their bases. Very annoying. After we clear out these 2 new clusters that popped up, I will save so that if I do something stupid when I go out and try and fight him in space, I don't have to reload and spend 5 minutes flying back here. I should have grabbed more thermals too. Oh well. Got 12 left. I've also been considering getting a chard plant. One of my favorite vegetables. Here's another free fact for absolutely nothing. I've talked a bit on stream before about how I like vegetables. And one of my favorites is rainbow or Swiss chard, which is pretty easy to grow in warm season, even where I live. So at some point, I wouldn't mind grabbing like a large potted Swiss or rainbow chard plant to grow. It is a pretty resilient plant, and as far as what you can cook with it, it's pretty tasty. Just sautéed or boiled kind of makes it all limp and gross. I like to saute my chard, chop it up. Velvet King says if a plant dies, it's weak. Or the caretaker is incompetent. Every plant has its own things that it needs in order to thrive. Whether it be environment or nutrients, certain types of nutrients or certain levels of water. And if you don't do that correctly, you will kill your plants. That's one thing I've learned over the last couple of years. You can't take like a universal philosophy when it comes to gardening because every plant's different. I've found just in my attempts to grow things that the most fragile appears to be basil, which is the one I use the most. Last year I think I harvested my basil once before the bugs got to it, and then they destroyed my crop for the entirety of the season. And I had a big starting plant for basil and I couldn't use any of it. That was very annoying. But if I had a yard, I would totally look at building a greenhouse or something like that. Some of my coworkers who own large stretches of property have fully standing enclosed greenhouses, and they grow all sorts of stuff all year round that's produce related, for anybody asks. But we'll see. I will update you folks on Garden Watch 2024 in the near future. Oh, there's another deposit here. It's kind of annoying that all these got buried. 10 million in this deposit. That's pretty good. All right. Let us return to space. Let's be a little bit more careful than not at all. First, we turn on our Corvettes. We have them stocked in reserve here for deployment, and now we're good.
Warp engine activated.
I also should probably not come in quite so hot.
Warp engine deactivated.
We're in range of the turrets. be careful. Let the Corvettes do all the work. Just hang back in the cut and wait. What about you folks, chat? Since we're talking about produce, if you're a person who eats vegetables, what are your favorite vegetables to eat? I'm always curious to know. I know a lot of people don't like vegetables, which is a shame, because I usually chalk that up to not having them prepared a certain way or the right way to make them appetizing. Red Dragon says carrots. Nice. I like my carrots roasted. Raw, like carrot sticks are fine, but if I had a choice, I'd like to roast my carrots. Maybe give them like a light honey or herb glaze. Just throw them in the oven. Iconic says potatoes for versatility. Also pretty fair. I do like a lot of potatoes, potato-based things. I know how to make scratch fries and hash browns from like regular russet potatoes. It's a lot of work, but they turn out pretty well. Another thing that I learned maybe within the last year as I started messing around with doing fries from scratch is if you clean the outside of russet potatoes and skin them to slice up for fries, you can keep the skins and rinse them and then fry those on their own and become fried crispy potato skins, and they're delicious. And you basically waste none of the potato. So next time you peel a potato, again, make sure it's clean and washed. Instead of tossing out or composting the skins, rinse them in water to get the starch off, drain them and dry them. Don't get them soggy, but drain them, pat them dry, and then throw them in hot oil and fry them to get nice crispy potato skins. Great by themselves. You can dip them in like spicy sauce or ketchup or whatever. And those are delicious. Red Dragon says, sorry, but just keep the skin on. Yeah, you can do that too. I think I prefer separating the skins out just because I like eating the fried crispy skins. But you could also totally make your potato-based things, chips, fries, with the skins on, and they'll be just as good. The key I learned after reading a few recipes and watching some tutorials on making fries from scratch, whether you leave the skins on or not, once you slice the potatoes into their desired shape, what you do is you rinse them to get the extra starch off, just like you would for just the skins. And then you drain them and then pat them dry again. Don't fry them when they're soaking wet or you will cause splatters, and that's no good. But what you do is you fry them at a medium-high temperature until they just start to blister on the outside. You don't want them to start to get dark or crispy. You want to fry them until they're blanched, and then take them out of the oil. Cut the heat and let them cool, or put them in the refrigerator for a couple hours. And then after you do that, you refry them at a higher temperature, and then they will get crispy. If you try and throw them directly in the oil right after you slice them, they will not cook evenly because they'll get more cooked on the outside than the inside. If you blanch them first, they are cooked pretty much all the way through, and then you're just double frying them to get them crispy. Red Dragon says, skin on with the fries a little wet, rub in some spice. Yeah, you could totally do that. When they come right out of the oil, when they're done, you can toss them in like a spice mix so that it sticks. If you wait till they dry, like Red Dragon's saying, they won't pick up whatever it is you're flavoring them with. All right, I'm gonna pay attention here. Let's cut the fleet. Recharge, and then we'll make another pass. We've got pretty much the entirety of the hive cluster cleared out. So rather than go back, let's see if we can just wait for everything to recharge. Let's see if we can knock it out right here. Oh, you're talking about seasoning before you fry them. Yeah, you could do that too. I feel like if you do that, you run the risk of the majority of the spice and seasoning coming off when they fry versus seasoning them when they come out. it'll retain more if you do that. You could brine or marinate your fries. And I watched an interesting video from Joshua Wiseman about doing like a, I think it was vinegar, almost like a pickle brine mix with the potatoes before you fry them, and they turned out really well apparently. But I've been finding the two-stage frying method to be a little bit more time consuming, but pretty hard to screw up. So that's been my go-to for making fries. But when you brine stuff, just for clarity, Red Dragon, you're actually soaking them in a solution. So they're fully wet, but before they're cooked. Just like you would marinate meat or anything for that matter. But you're talking about like a wet spice rub before you fry, which is interesting. I'd be curious to see how that works. Or you could just buy the frozen things that you bake or fry yourself that are already done. It's much less work, I'll tell you that much. Okay, we're gonna keep circling and then go 50%. I'm gonna redeploy and see how much more of the hive cluster we can take out. We're close. Red Dragon says, I love cooking and making stuff. I didn't know you like to cook, Red Dragon. I guess it's never come up. But that's good. Cooking is really important as far as survival skills go. Like I learned a long time ago, if you like to eat, then you better learn how to cook or be prepared to spend a lot of money going out. But I think everyone should learn how to cook at least a few simple things. Again, survival skills. Especially now with things like YouTube tutorials and really easy ways to get at recipes. All the resources are there. All right. Let's make a slightly closer pass. And let's have our fleet try and take out the last of these buggers. We are decently close. Why aren't they engaging? There they go. Get them. I think the turrets are gone. I can't tell. The relay stations are those flat things that are sort of sitting there. Those have to go as well. But I think the defensive weaponry is gone. Let's see if I get close and I start getting shredded by turrets. Oh. I think it's just infrastructure left. That and the core. Lava King says, I miss throwing spears at food, especially pigs. But no, hippies ruin everything. Have you ever gone hunting before, Lava King? I know that's definitely not something we've talked about. There's still sport hunting if you really feel like killing animals, I suppose. That seems like far too much work to me. I do my hunting at the supermarket. And I never fail. Oh, that is taking a lot of energy. Okay, let me turn off the fleet. It's almost dead. pretty much the hive cluster's helpless now. We just have to destroy all the components. And my rockets and missiles do no damage whatsoever. So I'm just going to get out of range a little bit, wait for my energy to recharge, and we'll let the fleet take care of it. The core is this little thing with the eye down here. That's the main part, but we have to destroy everything or they could start rebuilding. Red Dragon says, just picture Odaku as one of the mad old ladies with a handbag fighting to get the better offers. You say that, but I never use coupons because I don't have any sort of print-based media that I get. Like, I don't have a newspaper or magazines or anything. And I don't really spend time looking for online deals when I go shopping. So the only bargains that I get are the things that are readily on sale when I go to the grocery store to go shopping. Like, I'm not that jackass that's in line plunking down like a handful of 50 coupons asking the cashier to ring and everything. Like, I know people do that to save money, which is fine, but I don't have a means to get that kind of stuff because I don't have newspapers or whatever. But usually I tend to buy whatever I plan on cooking and try and ballpark what I'm going to spend because I don't have infinite money. But things are so expensive in this economy. I liked when I could go to the store and get a full week's worth of groceries for less than $100 US. Now, if I'm not careful, and it's been a long time since I've gone shopping, you know, you can spend upwards of $250 on groceries, and I'm not about doing that. So I tend to go shopping every other week or so for groceries now, and try and keep it within like $100-something. But and everything's expensive. I don't know how it is for you folks that live outside the States, but I think cost of living in general is a lot higher just due to the global economy. Dragon says, what is this thing called? Newspapers? You know, again, you joke, but there are definitely younger people in like Gen Alpha who've never seen a newspaper before in their life. And that makes me feel even more old than I already do. I gotta stretch for my reminder for iconic. All right. Let's turn the fleet back on. Try and mop up. Those little triangular things, those are the relay stations that fly down on the planets and start creating bases. Those absolutely have to be destroyed. And then the rest is basically just parts of the frames of the hive infrastructure. Eventually we'll be able to upgrade not only our fleet capacity, but their health, speed, and damage. So as we proceed up the tech ladder and get more advanced things researched, these runs are not going to be this tedious. We'll basically be able to go in fully strapped with all of our weaponry, and our ships will be able to take out a hive in one pass, but we're not quite there yet. We've still got a ways to go up the tech tree.
Dark Fog Hive Core destroyed.
There's the core. Okay. Core's done. Once this last bit of rebar is destroyed, we've officially eliminated the dark fog from this sector of space. Finally. which is good. Now we can proceed to setting up a base here. In the system, there might be a couple straggler bases they set up while we were doing all this, but once we get back here, we can actually start deploying everything on base and get everything mined and then go back to our actual target. Red Dragon says they'll never know the pain of paper maps and learning cursive at school. I was talking to someone about that recently in regards to maps, and we were discussing how way back in the day when you wanted to go somewhere and you didn't know your way around, you'd have to pull out a giant folded paper map to figure out, you know, streets and everything else. And then I remember when the internet became a thing down the road and you had stuff like MapQuest. For a good portion of time, I was printing out directions from MapQuest and just, you know, taping them in my dashboard while I'm driving to figure out where I needed to go. And nowadays with smartphones and GPS, obviously, you don't even need that. You just need your device and plug in your destination and you go. If the internet ever went away, society would probably collapse. Alright. Are we clear? Nope. That's the last one, I think. Right there.
Flight mode. Cruise mode. Cruise ended.
Maybe I should refill my energy before I go and take them out. Lava King says, or learn handwriting. Oh, yeah. People don't really have to worry about penmanship nowadays because they don't need to write stuff. I have abysmal handwriting. I had bad handwriting before, but now since everything is digital, my handwriting's gotten even worse. Everyone always tells me I should be a doctor. Lava King asks, Rocco, aren't you like 25 or something? No, not even close, my guy. You got to double that number, at least. I am very old.
Flight mode.
And if you want someone to back me up, just ask Wazzy or Matt or Pwups. They met me in real life. They had to help me with my walker. They know I'm old.
Cruise ended. Flight mode. Cruise mode. Cruise ended.
Yeah. This can't be the first time we've talked about it, Lava King. It's the running gag amongst everyone within our affiliated communities. Everybody always makes fun of me for being so much older than everybody else. But that's okay.
Dark fog base core destroyed.
Red Dragon says, Rocky knew the guy that made the first wheel. Yeah. In fact, I remember when the first wheel was square. Har har. King says I'm a time traveler, but F man, you're old. I can't believe this is the first time we're talking about it, Lava King. People have been making fun of me for being old for years of content creation now. Like, I find it hard to believe that this is the first time it has come up since we've been talking. Unless you just didn't see people making fun of me all the time. Let's see, we can put these guys away now. I think we're clear. No dark fog bases here. None of them in space. Alright, let's save our progress. Now we can actually start building and doing what we came here to do.
Flight mode.
Hot diggity. Our dragon is redeemed to save reminder again. Good idea. yeah, we'll save here since I did that as soon as I touched down. Let's not have a repeat of before. And Red Dragon Redeem drop a beat. Has it been 20 minutes already? I forget what my redeem cooldown is for drop a beat. It's either 15 or 20 minutes. Or no, 20 or 30. I don't remember. But let's do that before we get too wrapped up in whatever it is we're doing here. 30 minutes, okay. We'll pause here. Go over here and pause BGM. We'll meet the ambient noises. And grab headphones. All right. We did drum and bass before, something fast. Let's slow the pace down and maybe try something a bit more hip-hop related. So let's come up with something a bit different in tone. Let's see what we got. All right, we'll just remove headphones. Resume BGM. And where is the directional poles here? I guess we can probably go around the equator. That's what I meant to do last time I went to a planet. Let's go find the equator. And then we're going to set solar paneling up along kind of the beltway of the planet. Let's see. This is a vertical. Oh no. This is the not a vertical equator. I want the horizontal, I think. Yeah. Horizontal's further towards the middle of the planet. Right here. Lava King says, I'm so old I remember when the Earth didn't have a crust, just the mantle, and we liked it that way. In days of prehistory, in the early days of planetary development. Red Dragon says, oh, now I'm wondering everyone's age. I don't really talk about it too much because it is a personal detail. I only mention it because people always ask me why I'm so old, but in general, I think a lot of people across the different communities, between like the Toxicure community and all of the rest of the folks that are affiliated with the Toxicure group, most people are either in like their late teens to 20s, it seems. think there's some outliers. Some of the other folks I've talked to are probably in their 30s. But it seems like there's a lot of young adults. And some younger people, but honestly, I don't keep track. I never ask people their age. To me, it's kind of a weird thing to ask people you don't know too well. But if anyone asks me, then once I take my dentures out, I tell them I'm very old and I wish I could retire. Lotwing says, Odaku, you're not even human. Aren't you just a drone infected by a space bee parasitic larva? No, I'm an alien inhabiting a human body. It's just they gave me an old human body. My homeworld age was lower than with the body they gave me when I got here. But the one that is tied to the government registration is the one that I gotta use, which is the old one. Which is, you know, not a big deal, but once the AARP organization sees you in the system and they see your name, they start sending you letters for the old people group. And that's kind of annoying. Hollow King says, I wish I could replace my eye with a laser eye. I was talking to one of my coworkers about that earlier. We were talking about how working in the environment we were working in now is leading to a lot of like carpal tunnel and computer related long-term maladies. And we talked about how it'd be nice if they could kind of hit the gas on some of the cybernetic enhancement tech. Problem is, you know, everybody's favorite so-called genius, Elon Musk, and his Neuralink stuff doesn't necessarily fill me with a ton of confidence right now. So you can be sure I'm not going to be an early adopter for that type of tech. But it's got potential, right? Putting a computer chip in a brain to kind of counteract some of the detrimental things that happens in human brains. But I don't think the tech is there yet. Your Dragon says the brain chip won't work. I think that the tech has the potential to get there eventually. We'll see. It kind of just depends on what angle they go with it. But, like, man, you're talking about putting a chip in there right now with what they've done. I don't trust it. It always takes a few generations and iterations of a tech to iron out all the bugs. And if you're sticking something in your brain, you want that to be as bug-free as possible, right? It's a really cool effect, the perma ice here on the planet. It's kind of transparent, you can see through it, but it reflects the skyline. Really neat planet. It's like a barren ice world. Iconic says, I'd be fine being a brain on display sort of robot. I mean, like in Futurama, but instead of it being a head in a jar, it'd be like a brain in a jar. Or like in RoboCop. Now see, I think trying to augment the brain is something that is going to take a long time for them to get right. But for like cybernetic implants and things that are going to help the other parts of the body, I'm much more likely to just consider that type of technology. Like, I have bad lower extremity joints. I think I've mentioned that before. My hips, knees, and ankles are not great. And I'm assuming they're all just going to fall off one day. If I can get cybernetic legs, you know, sign me up. They already pretty much do a version of that when they have like orthopedic implants. you know, getting like a knee or a hip replacement, that's essentially like a really early form of cybernetic enhancement when you think about it. You're putting metal into your body to replace what's broken. But give me some high-end cybernetic, like reverse jointed legs just to look cool. And then we're talking. I don't know about you folks, but I don't like the fact that when I go running and then I'm done, I need to sit down, or else it feels like my lower extremities are going to explode. I could do with much less of that. King says, I want to eat my legs and replace my bones with dinosaur bones. That's oddly specific, but hey, you do you. Wouldn't you rather have legs, prosthetic or cybernetic legs shaped like dinosaur legs instead? That kind of says Dino DNA. Yeah. Talking about all of the stuff in tech, the genetics and like biological based stuff is also something to really watch. It's just a matter of time before we start either creating terrible monstrosities with genetic research or doing like a Jurassic Park and bringing things back that have been long dead for a while. And then you combine that with the cybernetic tech, and then you have Dino Riders. Alright, once we complete this band of solar paneling around, we should have a decent power grid to start the actual production. All I need are the grading crystals right now. So we'll set up logistics nearby some of the deposits and get them to start trucking resources back to home base. Here Dragon says, if I stand too fast, I feel like I'm going to die. Sounds like that could be a circulation issue. That's why it's good if you're working in an environment where you have a sedentary type of job, where you're sitting down a lot. It's good. Wait. At some point, I staggered everything off by like a tile.
Flight mode.
It looks crappy now. You know what? I'm not gonna fix it because this is an auxiliary base, and I don't think we're gonna look too closely at it. But if we go to, how did that happen? It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Here. That's why. Whoopsie doodle. Alright, nobody look at that. It's fine.
Flight mode.
Iconic says OCD hurt. Yeah, just don't look at it. Don't look at it. It's fine. Hair Dragon says fix it now. If I didn't say anything, you folks probably wouldn't have even noticed. Let's see, where are the purples? There's one. There's another one. Are there only two? 19? Yep. Only 2 deposits. That's kind of annoying. Alright. We will set up power to run towards the first one, the 10 million.
You've built a signal tower.
Yeah. And we'll start building logistics there. There is a way to do kind of like a mass redeployment. If I save a blueprint of like a planetary band of the solar panels, and I could just delete them all and then put it down cleanly, but I'm not going to do that because it'll be a lot of work. And it doesn't need to be super pretty on an auxiliary base out in the middle of the sticks in the space boonies. But it will bother me now that I know about it.
You've built an...
Okay, we want max charging power, warp distance, max load for drones. First, we want to have this thing, which is not totally tanking the power grid by itself. That's good. It's only about 75%. But this thing is going to first request warpers, which are needed to have the vessels engage warp drive to fly between long distances. But we only really need 100 of them. And our vessels carry 600, so the first one that goes and flies out and comes back is going to top us out. Red Dragon says I'm telling Wazzy you're being mean to us. That's fine. What's she gonna do? Come over here and tell me to do something else? Is she still streaming? Today was... I can never remember when she's streaming. I'm not used to her being live on Thursdays. I think it was Floor yelling today. I popped in there briefly and I heard yelling, which is, you know, part for the course. Okay, we don't need to fly stuff across from here. We can just set up our mining machines to grab these nice pretty magenta crystals. And we can use our wireless power transmitter too. Those things are handy. Oh, we got to hydrate from Iconic. Drink water. And a stretch reminder. Oh. We were talking about favorite produce earlier, and we're talking about vegetables, yeah. I was also going to ask the chat, as I'm always curious. We talked about vegetables, but what about fruits? What are your favorite fruits? I like strawberries. I like a lot of fruits, but one of my favorites is strawberries. Oh yeah, and I didn't see Red Dragon asking your favorite meat. Meat first, then fruits.
Mineral depleted.
Iconic says duck. Oh, interesting. Duck is good. I like duck. I don't eat it very often because it's a little more spendy and a little more difficult to prepare than something like chicken, but yeah, duck is delicious. Okay, I think I'm actually going to set up another mining machine here. We'll kind of double up on the deposits just to mine faster. Let's go there. And on fruits, Iconic says blueberries, apples, and grapes. All worthy choices. On topic of meats, Red Dragon says chicken is great, but snake is very good. I've never tried snake. I hear it tastes like chicken. Is that true? I've heard snake and alligator, which is like a big thing in certain parts of the South in this country. I've heard alligator tastes like chicken as well. Okay, so now we got everything funneling through here, and it's already being shipped off-world. And we got our warpers. put a storage crate here in case we need to do more of this. Well, not much left of the solar, but if we need to, we can go throw it there. Okay, Lava King's had gator before. It doesn't taste like chicken? What does it taste like then? I never had it. How would you describe the taste and texture of alligator meat, Lava King? Tell us. Like, chicken's the default, right? The joke is that everything tastes like chicken. I think that is not universally true personally, but it's what a lot of people say. Like, rabbit tastes like chicken, apparently. A lot of things taste like chicken. Then you get a more gamey meat like venison, which is kind of a unique taste. I don't know if I really would go out of my way to eat venison, but it's not bad. Deer meat. I do like lamb. Lamb is delicious. In fact, I'm going to be making lamb meatballs for dinner, assuming I have time tonight.
A logistics station.
Some of the larger...
You've taken the first step in establishing...
Larger livestock meats like bison or buffalo is much more lean than beef, but also good. Gator's chewy like taffy. People who say things taste like chicken should be fed to chickens so I can eat those chickens. That's brutal, man. Red Dragon says, snake is like a meaty grape? Like, in texture? I'm imagining the flavor's not like a grape, right? Like, snake wouldn't taste sweet. But, like, kind of like a soft flesh instead of like a really firm. Is that kind of what you're going for there? I would try snake. I've not had an opportunity to try that, but I would definitely try it if given the opportunity. I didn't really answer the meat question for myself. I think I'm going to go beef. It's a little bit of a basic answer, I suppose. I like chicken a lot too. But if I had to choose between like a well or standardly grilled chicken boob or like a nice steak, I would go steak every time. But the reality is I eat pretty much any type of meat. Chicken thighs over chicken boobs, for sure. I did try goat. One of the Indian places I order from every once in a while, they had goat curry, which is pretty common in those cultures. The meat was very similar to lamb, but it was like bony pieces, which I think is probably normal for how the cuts go for goat. And so it was very bony. Like you had to pick all the meat off of the bone, and I really did not enjoy that just because it was so much more work. It tasted fine. If I close my eyes, it tasted very similar to lamb. But having to sift through all of the bones in addition to the rest of the curry was kind of annoying. I didn't like that. Yeah, I think that's why, Lava King, you're not getting a ton of meat on goats, but like they still have shanks. I just don't think that's the cut they use for that type of curry dish. I don't know much about the history of Indian food, but taste-wise and texture-wise, fine. Like very similar to lamb, a bit more lean. Lamb tends to be a bit more kind of rich, but did not dislike. Just didn't dislike. I disliked all the effort it took to eat it. What about seafood? I'm a big fan of seafood. I think I've talked about it here on stream a couple times, how I really like sushi and sashimi.
Flight mode.
Going to Japan to try like really high quality uni, sea urchin, was phenomenal. It was so good. But I'll eat pretty much any seafood. Not a big fan of clams, but I'll eat them if they're steamed. Raw oysters I'm not a big fan of. I like my oysters grilled. But them's not cheap, so I don't eat oysters very often. Red Dragon says, never really tried it, but I want to. On the topic of goat? Or for which? Seafood? Seafood. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how easy it is to get seafood where you live over there, but definitely if you're in an area that has good access to like coastal region or something like that, there's lots of good seafood out there from different fishes. I'm a big fan of shellfish, obviously. Lobster is good. It's a bit decadent. If I had a choice, I'd rather eat crab because you get a bit more for your money. But shrimp is great. Again, clams kind of meh on. Oysters are great. Mussels I don't really eat. Scallops. Scallops are phenomenal, whether they're raw on something like sushi or grilled with a bit of sauce. My brother has a really good recipe for bacon wrapped shrimp, and he's done it with bacon wrapped scallops too, which is also really, really good. I have not tried jellyfish. That is actually something more common in Asian cultures. But back when I was in school and we used to go to Chinatown to try all the things, I know one of my friends tried jellyfish, which apparently is just doesn't have much of a taste. It's just kind of a slimy, soft texture, but no real flavor. Red Dragon says school in the Stone Age. Well, specifically Earth School, but yes, it was a long time ago. What else for seafood? On topic of shrimp, ama ebi, which is one of my favorite types of sushi to get, is raw sweet shrimp. Bit of an acquired taste, but really good if it's good quality. Let's go ahead and save our progress before we go back to our home world. Let's see what else. Octopus, which is really common in like Japanese sushi type food, is usually boiled there. I like my octopus smoked. I have made smoked octopus before, and it's nice because you get a good flavor, and when you smoke octopus, all that rubbery kind of chewy texture is gone. It just becomes very soft and delicious. But it's a bit more of a labor-intensive process to clean the octopus, marinate it, and then you have to have a smoker, obviously. But it is the superior way to eat it. Squid, I do like calamari. Fried squid is pretty good. Raw squid, ika, and sushi I'm not the biggest fan of. It's okay, but it's got to be pretty high quality, and it's still kind of slimy in texture. That I don't really vibe with as much.
Warp engine activated.
Red Dragon says, I would love to try sushi, but I want my first to be the real kind. I feel that. I think that's definitely fair. If nothing else, because again, I don't know what the access to seafood in your area is like. Sushi's the type of thing where you got to do your research if you're not eating it in Japan. You got to trust the place you're going to and know that they have quality ingredients and they do a good job. You wouldn't want to go to like Billy Bob's sushi / Chinese / Vietnamese / Thai / generic Asian restaurant for the $2
Engine deactivated.
sushi. It's probably not going to be good quality, and you're running the risk of getting sick. But the real thing in the area where it was created in Japan was next level. It was so good. I wish we had eaten more sushi in this last trip. But it's also different. I don't think we've really talked about it a ton here, but in the States, sushi's really popular, right? We had some when I was in the Bay Area, and it was quite good. But the style of sushi is different in the States versus in Japan, where it was invented. In the United States, sushi tends to be kind of a mix of ingredients that are not necessarily traditional, and they tend to have a lot of sauces and different things on them because that's what appeals to a lot of us fat, unhealthy Americans, which isn't bad, it's just different. In Japan, it's much more stripped down in its core of, your nigiri sushi is just rice and whatever's on top, be it seafood or something else. The rolls, the maki rolls, tend to be one or two specific ingredients, and that's it. You're not going to get something that's deep fried or covered in like 4 different types of sweet sauces and whatnot. In Japan, it's just very simple. And it's not better or worse, it's just different. And I kind of like that for the stuff when I tried it there the first time. It was just more traditional and probably better for you compared to like some of the stuff that the States serves, but it's just different flavors. All right.
Warp engine activated.
Red Dragon says, what also would love to do Korean barbecue where you cook it yourself at your table. Oh yeah, that's a good time. Korean barbecue is pretty popular here in the States too. In Japan proper, they have yakiniku, which is the same thing. You cook the meat at your table. We did that a few times. But if you're a big fan of meat, you know, Korean barbecue is great. A lot of places do all you can eat. And you can get different types of meats and different cuts. And then they bring like the banchan, which is the side dishes. I haven't been to Korean barbecue in a while, but usually results in a lot of eating and a food coma or the meat sweats after. But yeah, that's a good time. If you're a true carnivore, then Korean barbecue can get your money's worth for sure. All right. It has taken over 2 hours, but we have established another auxiliary base. And let's go take a look at the production chain for the crystals and see if it's made an impact. If anything, it shouldn't be bottlenecked. And we should be getting a little bit more production out of that, which is fine for now. I'd like to set up the production for the green research before we call it a day today. We've been side questing a bit to set up production on other planets, but now I think we are in a slightly better position. Okay. So now, oh yeah, now look at this. This thing is topping up. It's still not completely hands off because we only have 2 sites that are mining the crystals and sending them over, but now we've essentially almost doubled our production with that new base, which is good. That's what we want. And so now the crystals, the Casimir crystals here, are being produced at a decent rate. Just don't think we have quite the production to set up another production site like this. We'll leave this for now. But let's go check the quantum chip production over here. Whole reason why we've gone through this entire exercise to bring it all back to our objective was for these things, quantum chips. Does this thing not have drones? It didn't have drones, huh? These things are half of the green science components, and that's what we need right now. So we need to set up another site to pull all that stuff. We need graviton lens, these green lens looking things, and the chips. So for that, we are going to let's do it closer to the science research facilities. So we might not have the range to truck them all the way over there. There's red. I think we have enough logistics range to do it about here. Just need to find an open spot. Real estate's getting a little bit tighter as we kind of develop stuff. But that's okay.
Flight mode.
Let's see if there's more room over here. Yeah, we could do it here, then we'll run it straight up this way. We just need to make sure we don't fill this lake in all the way, because we're pumping water out of this big area too. We'll do it here. And we're going to need to pay attention to this. Our power is sort of stuck here between 75 and like 82%. But if we're not careful, we add too much more production and it's going to bottom out. So we're not quite out of the power crunch yet, but if we can get to green research, that's going to help. There's a lot of helpful tech that we can start researching, including better efficiency for our Dyson Swarm. And then once we get green research, we're starting to begin production on the things that are going to let us get the Dyson Sphere, the quote-unquote end game and our goal for the playthrough. So that will be soon, but we're not quite there yet. Oh, is it doing that? That's weird. Oh, I wonder why it's doing that. Alright. So we want to pull graviton lenses. And I should have grabbed the extras out of that crate.
Cruise mode. Cruise ended.
Ah, whatever. I'll get it some other time.
Flight mode.
And we want quantum chips. If we set production up right around here, we also want our proliferator. Red Dragon asks, have you seen Assassin's Creed Shadows? I have not. Is that another one of the games, or is it like a show? I've never really been an Assassin's Creed person, so I haven't been keeping tabs on what the series has been doing. But what is it specifically? Okay, we're gonna have you. Oh, okay, so the next installment in the series. They just dropped a trailer. No, I haven't seen it. Does it look good? Oh. A lot of people I know are really into Assassin's Creed. It never really hooked me. I know it's very popular, and I know it's a good series. Just gameplay style didn't really hook me too much. I see Iconic is taking off. Iconic says, got to go. Thanks for the chill time as always. Hope everyone has a great day. Much love. All right, Iconic. Thanks for tuning in and chilling with us. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We will be back on Sunday of this weekend for a jam stream. It's been a while. So we'll be doing that next. And then next week's stream schedule should be fairly normal. Red Dragon says, I like the idea of Assassin's Creed, but the story is so bad. Yeah, the story didn't really hook me either. That was one of the reasons why I never got in the series. It seems like a decent premise, but it also seems kind of clunky. I don't know. I did want to see, is Lava King still here? We were talking earlier. Lava King was talking about starting Unicorn Overlord. I wanted to see if he actually got a chance to jump into it. That is currently on the contender list for my game of the year. Okay, did you put the trailer in media share, Red Dragon? I'll check it out later. No, that's not what I want. Where is... There they are. I'm out of matrix labs.
Flight mode.
A matrix lab.
Let's go grab some more of those. Yeah, I am getting close to the end of Unicorn Overlord, I think. I'm not quite at like the final areas, but I'm in one of the last major zones of the game. And I'm just doing grinding right now, trying to build up my team, but I have really enjoyed my time with the game, and I've heard the post game is also a lot of fun too. And there's still more content. And so if you like board-based strategy RPGs, things like Fire Emblem and the like, I think this game is more interesting than Fire Emblem personally, but definitely recommend. I think we talked about it before when I mentioned it, but there is a demo on Switch for it. So if you want to test it out and see if you like it, then check the demo out. Okay, we want you to create green. Green. Oh, we can go sets of 3. That works. Is it close enough? No, it's not close enough. Okay, we'll go sets of 3. Red Giant said I'll try it. There was a game years ago with the same kind of gameplay, but I can't think of the game name. For like a board-based strategy RPG, there's a lot. You go way, way back. It'd be like Final Fantasy Tactics. There's, of course, Fire Emblem. Even Disgaea, to some extent, is kind of similar. Not quite the same model as Unicorn Overlord, but yeah, it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. But I really like Unicorn Overlord. Lava King says, "Hey Arako, I got back into StarCraft 6. Are they up to 6 now? I haven't been keeping track." Okay, let's turn this thing on. I don't know why it's charging like that. It's got to be some sort of visual glitch. Lava King says, "Soul Calibur, you twit." Hey, don't you call me names? I know there aren't 6 StarCrafts. I think there's only like 5 of them. But yes, how's Soul Calibur 6 been going? You playing online? It is a serious crime against humanity that Soul Calibur 6 never got rollback. I put the blame squarely on Namco for that. I don't think it will, honestly, which is a shame. Because the game is so much fun, but the netcode is kind of trash. So my experience locally, one of my really good friends plays that game. We didn't have any issues, but you go like really outside your region and you run the risk of the game not performing too well online. Okay, single player. Going through the story. Story in Soul Calibur 6 is fine. It's basically a reboot of the first one. I do not know if we're gonna ever get another Soul Calibur game. We'll see once Tekken's been out for a bit, I think. But 6 did do well commercially. It was kind of a surprise to Namco, I think. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we get another one at some point in the near future. Maybe Soul Calibur 7 with rollback netcode. Please, it's got to be a standard in fighting games. Why isn't it letting me stack? Collide with another object. Oh, it's because of this. Alright. Move it over. There. That should do it. Lava King says I miss all alt costumes. Oh yeah, I remember you talking about Cassandra. Is she your main in 6? Huh. Why? What's it colliding with? Yep, it's definitely that. Well, that's annoying. Let's do this then. Let's put them close together. We'll go 5. And we'll just stack them up a bit. Lava King says, I don't have any DLC. I hate Ralph's glasses. At least he's not a dumb vampire. Yeah, I know that's right. So who are you maining then in 6? Okay, how are we doing on our supply? That's should be okay for now. I think I'm going to want to add in another layer of these at some point so we can get our green cubes faster. This is putting us really close to capacity though, which is an issue. So I'm thinking we don't push it for now, but I might need to add another layer to the swarm so we're getting more energy. Our power grid is getting pretty close to capacity, so that might be something for me to figure out offline because we need to get ready to wrap up soon here. But first, let me go see if I can deal with that surplus of the lenses. These thingies here.
Flight mode.
Lava King asks, what is maining? Yeah, like Red Dragon saying, the character you primarily play with in a fighting game. Your main. Like my main, we talked about it before. My main in Soul Calibur is Voldo because I like the idea of physical and psychological warfare, and he's a lot of fun to play. But for you, Lava King, who is your character you've been playing with the most? Okay, full up there. Should full up here too. Okay, I guess we can just drop the extra quantum chip in here. Yeah, we'll throw it in here for now. And I think what we want to do... What's our first upgrade going to be? Let's look at the tree. We need to start progressing towards white research. This is the last stop on research tier, so probably... Oh, could have grabbed this already. Whoops. We want this. That's probably going to be our first main tech thing. This allows us to create a variant version of the ray receivers to increase the total output of power generated. It requires the graviton lenses, but it basically makes it so that they can absorb more light coming from the sun, or star rather. But before we do that, we need to
Flight mode.
get all of the green science over to our site here. I guess we can do it with this one. On the topic of mains, Lava King says, back in 2, I mained Charade, but since he and Necrit are gone, I guess Ralph and Grandpa? Or Keelik. Who's Grandpa? Trying to think of all the old men in Soul Calibur 6. Cervantes? I like how you keep calling him Ralph, too. That's funny. Okay, so... one of those 3. I do not like fighting against Raphael. He's very annoying and skilled hands to deal with. I did play a lot of Keelik in 2, though, so I can respect that. Okay. I have this one grab all of the green research, and now we're going to truck it all the way along. I'm going to go outside. Crisscross over here, spaghetti style. And did I not set up... Did I not set up a 4th thing for the green? Huh. Apparently I did not. Oh, that's dumb. Okay. In that case, I guess we can do it over here.
Research complete.
Oh, Hugging says I'm on phone and stupid autocorrect. So who did you mean for Grandpa? All right. We'll have everything come over here. Oh, so you did mean Cervantes. Okay, just making sure. Gotcha. Red Dragon says, I like the guy with the weird arm. Nightmare? The Blue Knight? With the big, like, gross arm and soul edge?
Flight mode.
Yeah, Nightmare's fun. He and Siegfried play very similarly. They were the same character back in Soul Calibur 2. But then, story reasons, Nightmare was split off into his own entity. But he tends to be a bit more aggressive and in your face than Siegfried. One of my fighting game sparring partners played Nightmare. Okay, so we're going to run one of these here. And another one all the way down on the other side, since we need to be able to have this feeding green research cubes from both sides. Perfect. And we'll go over here. One, right there. And same thing here. Eventually we'll need to upgrade when we get to Mark III belts and Mark III sorters so that we can have stuff moving a bit faster. But until then, the Mark IIs will be okay. And I'm going to have to step up production of the green cubes. When we hit our peak generation for power, topping out right now about 1.25 gigawatts, that puts us kind of comfortably at 75%. But when it dips, when parts of the power grid or the power generation go offline, that's what's causing it to drop. So I almost wonder, it might be beneficial to go over here to hot zone and put more rail guns to shoot additional layers of the swarm. I think going for the upgraded ray receivers is going to be a better idea in the short term. That's probably what I'll do next. We can create kind of like a whole field of those, or even use the ones that we've got up here. So what that upgrade does, just to explain, we'll see it probably in the next round of the playthrough. It takes these things and gives them the ability to pipe in the green graviton lenses, and then they output more power. Instead of 11 or 12 max, it goes up to, I think, 20? So not quite double their output, which would help as a stopgap until we get the Dyson Sphere under construction.
Flight mode.
Okay. And we're still doing okay on production there. So maybe I'll think about it and just duplicate this line down here. I think we have enough room. And then that'll be our production for green for now. But let's go ahead and save. We will call that a good stopping point for today. I know we didn't accomplish a ton, but we did get to the green research. That's the big thing. This is going to come into play next time. Also, had some good chats. You folks always bring good topics of conversation. So I do appreciate that. But let's take a look at the homie list and see who is online that we can go raid. Let's see. Who is online that I know? Let's see. Mycelia's online. Oh, Bean's online. They are doing stream assets. Looks like making things to use for the redeems. Oh, in 3D too. What is that? Is that Blender? Kind of looks like Blender. Okay, they're making items to use for that throwing plugin, it looks like. Okay, let's go raid Bean. I kind of want to see what they're doing. Looks cool. So let me cue this up here. And we will pause BGM. Mute you and go to outro. And we will call that good for today. Like I said before, we'll be back on Sunday for the first jam stream in a bit. We'll be going through some more beatbox stuff and brainstorming ideas for music in upcoming releases. In the meantime, hope everyone has a good rest of your evening. Once again, thanks for hanging out. It was good talking to all y'all. And with that, let us go see how the Bean Mun is doing with asset creation. So let's go check it out.